So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. Now in today's video guys, we have some tactics for a formation which I don't personally like to use all that much, but there's no denying how effective it is, and this is the 4-3-2-1. Now the reason I'm not a big fan of using this personally is because I sometimes feel like this formation can be a little one-dimensional and a bit boring to use, but there is no doubt that it is very effective in the meta of this game. So with all that aside guys, let's get into some tactics which I found to be very effective with this formation. If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. Alright then guys, so starting off with the tactics, defensive style, as always we have this on balance. Balance gives you the best control over your defense, so when you want to be aggressive you can, and when you want to drop off and be more passive you can as well. When it comes to applying pressure as well, we don't actually have to use any pressure tactics. We can use something else which we'll get onto in a moment. Moving on to the width guys, I prefer a more narrow width in this game as it allows me to feel more tight and compact in the middle of the defense, which is really nice. Stops our opponent being able to play through us, and when we want to stop those cutbacks we can just move a player out wide to do that. Moving on to the depth guys, we have this on 71. This is the thing I was on about when it came to pressure. So if you're on the new gen version of FC24 and you have your depth on 71, you'll get this automatic press from the AI. It's a very strong press, basically defends for you, and it makes it very difficult for your opponent to attack. The thing about 71 depth as opposed to the pressure tactics is you don't really get a stamina drain, so it is very effective to use and you can pretty much use it for 90 minutes. If you're on the old gen version of the game though, 55 to 60 depth is better because this thing doesn't work. Moving on to build up play guys, we have this on balance, gives you the most controlled form of build up. So when you have this on balance you can pick and choose when and where you use each form of build up, so you can play slowly, then you can change to playing a bit faster. Really useful to have those options. Chance creation guys, very important to have direct passing. It's the most meta option in this game. Direct passing will push your players very far into your opponent's box, and then after they've pushed, the defenders will usually follow this player, and then your attacker will track back so you can do that cut back. So it's a very boring tactic but a very effective one against Park the Bus. Moving on to the attacking width guys, I have this on 44. This is so our attack is not too wide and it's not too narrow. We don't want it too wide because it feels more like a 4-3-3, and we don't want it too narrow because then your players are just glued together. So this is just a width that's worked for me with this formation. Moving on to the players in box guys, I have this on 6. This is so we can get a few players into the box to finish off our chances, but we don't overcommit everybody to the point where we're always going to get counter-attacked if we lose the ball. Corners and free kicks guys, I have these both on 2, but it is completely up to you guys what you have on this. Sorry to interrupt the video guys, but I have noticed around 90% of you that watch the content are not subscribed, so if you are finding any of these videos helpful, please be sure to hit that subscribe button as it does help me out massively. Also don't forget to drop the video a like as well. And with all that aside guys, let's get back to the video. But the player instructions guys, on the striker, stay central, get him behind. Stay central obviously keeps him in the central position, so he's always where the striker should be, and getting behind is very useful because it allows this player to get in behind those high defensive lines which people like to use. It's just the most meta combination for your striker to have, in my opinion. Moving on to the right forward guys, we just have this player on getting behind. This is so this player can utilize their pace to get in behind the opposition's defense. Very useful yet again, but we also have this player on balance width as opposed to stay central, as I feel like you just get a bit more varied movement out of this player on balanced width. For the left forward guys, very important, getting behind and come back on defense. Getting behind for the same reason as the right forward, but come back on defense will make this team defend in a 4-4-2 shape. So this player will come back to defend as a left mid in the 4-4-2 shape, which will make us defend really nicely as well as attacking well. For the left centre mid guys, I use a more box-to-box style player, so we have them on the default settings and then cover centre. Default settings because again, box-to-box player, we don't want to restrict them to defending all the time, and then cover centre will ensure that they will always defend those central areas. For the right centre mid guys, I do use a more defensive minded player, so on this player we have stay back while attacking and cover centre. Again, pretty self-explanatory, we don't want this player going forward, and then cover centre to ensure they will always defend those central areas. For the right centre mid guys, we use an actual attacker here because like I said, it defends in a 4-4-2, so this player here won't actually have to defend as a centre mid, they will actually defend as a right mid with this cover wing instruction. So you can actually use an attacker here and it will be absolutely fine. So on this player, get forward and get into the box across so they're not hesitant to get forward and help you out in the attack. For one of the fullbacks, guys, you're more attacking one, balanced and overlap. Gives you a wider option when you're going forward. Very useful to use when you're using narrow formations, as it allows you to stretch out your opponent's defensive line, and then your more narrow players can get in between the gaps to cause a lot of problems. For the other fullback, guys, stay back and overlap. This is so you have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when you send him on a run forward, for the same reasons as the other fullback, he will make the overlapping runs to give you that extra width. For the centre backs and the keeper, guys, default settings, and I do not touch them. But yeah, they are my tactics and instructions for the 4-3-2-1. If you have enjoyed or found it useful, please be sure to drop a like, sub to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video.